Okay, we're on. Start recording. We're back.
Technical issues.
There
we go.
We're back. That was
Back
quick.
again.
Seamless.
Back from what?
And now everybody can see your faces, which is good. And you guys
But sudden leaping back into...
Someone setting himself up as the lead host over there.
Yeah, you can tell because I don't say anything most of the time. I just smile and nod. Then every now and again
Sitting on jewels like that. Yeah, so I think we summarised it. If you want to know a summary, there's another live broadcast previous to this one that's there. That is a bit poorer quality, but you can hear everyone perfectly summarise what's going on.
Go watch some Judgery of Blobs explain the previous episode.
It's very
if you want to cough all the chaff, join now.
Yeah, just straight into Luke's sound for the transition. Hit me with a sound, Luke Williams. Wow, perfect. So good. Right, I'm just going to scroll. Yeah, okay, nothing's cut off. Yeah, okay, so take it away, Phil.
Just in terms of the stream, is it definitely on now? I'm just trying to make sure it's on.
God, I hope so.
Has anyone else got it up?
Yeah, it's working.
You got it, yeah, cool. Lovely, right, I'll jump straight into the script then. So, we ready? All good? Everyone done all the vocal warm-ups?
La 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 la.
Burgess was my favourite. Episode 27. So, as usual, we'll do the last scene from the last episode just to kind of set the scene a bit. Episode 27. But SUDDENLEAP 2, plagued by apples. Interior, dilapidated hospital. Day. James turns quickly on his heels.
Coming!
James runs over to Adrian's body, picking up defibrillator pedals from a table beside him. He lifts them above to Adrian's body.
Clear!
James brings the pedals down to Adrian's body and shocks him. Cut to interior Tower of London stage. The executioner begins to bring his axe down on Catherine's head.
James! What? Where the devil am I?
We hear the sound of... Nice, perfect transition. We hear the sound of an axe.
Warm up, so.
Always prepared. we hear the sound of an axe on flesh as Catherine's head is lopped off. Adrian's consciousness is shot out of her body just in time. The timeline, in this instance, rectified. Adrian's mind traverses through a strange bluish vortex on its way towards another hapless historical figure in a last-ditch effort to rectify the timeline and rid it of kaiju frogs as he takes his but SUDDENLEAP onto my... And then we're done. Good show, guys.
Hey, nice.
Interior, exterior. Time vortex. Images of historical figures zoom past as we hurtle through the blue-hued time vortex from first-person perspective.
Whee!
Thank you. Interior, dilapidated hospital. Day. It's just as I imagined it. James is surveying the damage from the tadpole attack. He's relieved to see that his manacles are mostly intact, but the previously secured door lies in tatters. He sits in a wheelchair by Adrian's bed and taps on his iLife tablet.
Vitals look okay. Looks like you're successfully in transition.
He slides over to the window in his chair and peers over the ledge. He's not pleased by what he sees.
Shit.
Cut to exterior street view, day. There's chaos on the streets. People are running and screaming, scrambling to get away from a horde of grotesque giant tadpoles that are gathering around the shrunken body of their fallen comrade, thrown from the hospital window moments before. Two of the tadpoles are coordinating. See, that's where the warm-ups come in.
Nice.
Species 1 of 4. The second tadpole looks up at the hospital and gestures towards the window.
Ribbit!
I should have just done a full script of that. Wasted my time. The tadpoles all look up the window in unison. Interior, dilapidated hospital. Day. James lowers his head beneath the sill, but he thinks he's been spotted.
Shit.
He rolls back over towards the bedside monitor, which is beeping rhythmically.
Still with me, mate? Listen, everything's hunky, but thinking we might need to instigate a bit of strategic relocation.
James hops out of his seat and dashes towards the corner, picking up a rucksack and unveiling a rudimentary power pack. He plonks it at the foot of the bed and begins diverting some power cables from the wall into the pack.
Strictly precautionary, obviously.
Adrian's eyes are glazed over. He's entirely sedate. Cut to interior, exterior. Vortex. The journey through the vortex slowly eases off, settling into an era. There's flashes of a swimming pool, a grand manor house, lava lamps, cocktail glasses, and scantily clad party dwellers. Exterior, Playboy mansion, circa 1970s, early evening.
Okay, I'm in.
Luke's in it for it.
Where do I say it? A party is in full swing at the Playboy mansion. Party dwellers are dashing around the pool, sipping cocktails, and generally having a whale of a time. Hugh Hefner patrols the edge of the pool in his customary dressing gown and slippers, pipe in hand, and a ludicrously aged young lady on each arm, possibly twins. Twins Basil. Entire reference point of the script.
You see, ladies, the 3 keys to a successful shindig are A-class booze, A-class celebrities, and of course...
Hugh suddenly jolts on the spot, sparks upright, and comes to a standstill.
That is going to be my favourite thing that comes out of this, I think.
Yeah, I just stole that straight from your lips, but we're all going to have our variation on making...
I know. Poor Verge, he has to do that like fucking loads more times.
His eyes glaze over. The 2 women step back, looking at each other for assurance.
What's the 3rd key, honey?
Yeah, baby, don't leave us in suspense like that.
He steps out of his trance. Adrian has successfully leapt and is adjusting to his surroundings.
Oh, Jesus. I will never get used to that.
He notices the women.
Hiya.
3rd key is Jesus?
Hugh's barely paying attention.
Yeah. Excuse me a minute, ladies.
He looks up, seemingly at nothing.
Yeah, mate. Any clue where I am?
Struggling to get a look at the boat. Bear with me, mate. What do you see?
Hugh kneels by the pool and splashes himself with water. A few partygoers move out of the way, but are too distracted to notice his strange behaviour. The 2 bunnies have stayed nearby.
Anything?
Hang on. Is that Steve McQueen over there?
McQueen? As in Bullet and The Great Escape? That's Steve McQueen.
Hugh gets up and marches off towards the table.
No, Steve from the corner shop. Yes, that's Steve McQueen. Who the fuck else would I mean?
Cut to interior dilapidated hospital day. James is still scrambling around. He's managed to fasten all the contraptions to the bed with some rudimentary ties. He moves around the wheels and unlocks them.
All right, Adrian. No need for that tone. Just trying to gather some intel. What else do you see? Are you on a film set or something?
There's a nearby crashing noise. James grabs the rest of his belongings and stuffs them into the bag before hooking it onto his shoulders. He wheels to the bed by the door. He taps the crystal of Hugh's IV finger to ensure it's still flowing before pushing the bed down the hall at some haste. Cut to exterior, Playboy mansion, circa 1970s. Hughie stood by a table, several revellers in earshot.
No, not a film set. It's like a party, I think.
Only the best parties in town!
Right.
Perfect.
Right. Thank you, kind drunkard.
Hugh looks steadily on his feet. He rests his hands on the table.
James, am I moving?
I told you, mate. Strategic relocation. Just remember your training. You'll level off in a moment. Now stay with me. What else do you see?
Hugh picks up a spoon from the table and gazes into it, trying to catch his own reflection.
Dunno, I'm just some old bloke in pyjamas. Wait, remember my training? My training consisted of drink this red shit and try not to kill Churchill.
Well, you were a fast learner. Stay focused, Adrian. You must be there for something. Shit!
Hugh looks unsteady again, clasping his hand on the table.
James, what the fuck are you doing?
Sorry, false alarm. Just trying to make you extra comfortable.
The women from earlier saddle over, looking concerned.
Hugh, baby, are you okay?
Realization settles on Hugh's face.
Wait, Hugh? Am I Hugh fucking Hefner?
The one and only. Come on, Heffy, let's head inside.
Inside?
22 pats Hugh on the arm.
Sure, let's take the party inside and get you a little more comfortable.
James, do you want to make me more comfortable?
There's no James here, honey. Just us. Let's get you a nice drink.
They link arms to him again and walk off towards the manor. Cut to interior dilapidated hospital corridor. Day. James is running full pelt down the corridor. A group of tadpoles have found him and are in pursuit, running in a gangly, awkward fashion. He turns a corner quickly. Two of the tadpoles careen straight into a wall and slump to the ground.
That's good, mate. Just mingle. I'll be with you in a moment, and then we'll figure out what we're there for.
James settles into an alcove, wheeling the bed into a quiet spot. He catches his breath and looks around. It's gone quiet.
Christ, that was close.
He looks around.
I think I've lost him.
He looks at one of the balances over the gurney.
Playboy Mansion, 1979. Only thing I can find is an article about failed FBI plot to bring down some weird cult.
So, you come here often?
You're not listening to me, bud. You're there to prevent a thing. If they bring down Hefner, who knows what repercussions that'll have for teenage boys through the ages.
Interior, Playboy Mansion, circa 1970s. Usually being led by the bunnies to a nearby function room.
FBI sting? Don't be a buzzkill.
The two women look at each other, startled. They stop in their tracks as Hugh continues walking down the corridor. Bunny one places a hand to a hidden earpiece.
Abort. Operation Shrivel Prune is a no-go.
Hugh turns to watch the women running away at pace.
Come back, ladies. I was going to show you my vintage slipper collection. Come back.
Hugh re-enters transition as Adrian leaves his body. Interior, dilapidated hospital corridor, day. Adrian has slipped back into a full coma. A noise in the distance alarms James, forcing him to tuck into the alcove. He flicks off his earpiece for a moment. A giant, muscular amphibian walks by, narrowly missing him.
Crush, kill, destroy. Crush, kill, destroy.
James remains still as it passes.
Muscular amphibian was just disgusting.
I know.
You can picture it though, right?
It was so gross. Too close. I need to get a new room.
He pops his earpiece in again and slowly maneuvers the equipment, leaving bed. Interior, exterior, time vortex. Adrian is travelling through time vortex again. After a few seconds, the lava lamps fade away. In their place, there's some gas lanterns, horse-led carriages, an ink pot and quill. See what I mean about the gaps, Charlie? I can only apologise. Exterior, London, England, 1665, early evening. Lanterns line the unusually quiet streets of London. A burly man pushes the cart slowly on the road, a grim look on his face. He rings a bell on the side of the cart.
Bring out your dead. Bring out your dead.
Nice. It's not the voice I had in mind, but I liked it.
I love that.
He
I need to
rings the bell
clip
again.
that.
Bring out your dead.
Bring
He
out
rings
your
the
dead.
bell again. To no avail.
Bring out your dead. Go on now. I won't be back here for another couple of days, so bring out your dead. Or even just you're nearly dead.
Further down, a lone doctor patrols the street, wearing a herb-infused plague mask. He stops by a group of street dwellers and surveys them in turn.
You've got the plague. You've got the plague. And you've got the plague.
A street dweller calls up to him, pock-ridden and exhausted.
What about me? Don't feel that bad, actually.
Doctor steps back.
You've definitely got the plague.
The doctor casts out a few pouches of herbal remedies to the group. The cart pusher stops by the doctor, casting an eye at the scene.
Any fresh dead for me? Still room on the cart, like?
Oh, aye, this lot can all go. Matter of hours tops.
Please, help me.
Beautiful. The doctor and the cart pusher ignore his cries.
What are you still doing here anyway? Thought you lot are all buggered off north.
Yeah, well, you know, trying to do what I can to help the little guys.
He casually brushes off the street dweller clinging to his robes.
Got to do my bit. Besides, it's all the rich folk and academic types that have cleared off. Who wants to help those entitled fuckers?
Very true, very true.
The cart pusher starts making a bit of room on his carriage for new additions. Exterior, Cambridge, UK, 1660s. How are you getting on with your predictions, Burge?
Just like that cart pusher fucking killed me.
Bring out your dead. Ace.
Yeah.
That's so good.
gonna be thinking about that all night. Like, Robin's awake in the night. I'm like trying to settle it, and in my head, I was just going, "Bring out your dad."
Bring out your dad.
Little bell as well.
That was fun. That.
Just pause, quick pause. Check your phones real quick.
This is not appropriate, Luke.
I'm so sorry.
Oh, strong amphibian.
Okay. Fair enough.
Sorry.
Add a link.
Title screen amphibian. Thank you, AI.
That's roughly what I had in mind. Over in Cambridge, up north, things are a little more settled. The threat of plague lingers, but people are still going about their business. Taverns are open and the university colleges are still operating. 2 students, Nathaniel and Henry, walk the cobbled streets in haste, books pressed to their chest.
Oh, Nathaniel. What trouble do you expose us to now?
Oh, sorry, that's supposed to be...
Sorry.
Sorry, I was worried with the problem with the PDF. But...
Oh my god. Sorry.
Wow. Wow.
I just...
You'll have your bit version.
Still thinking about the
Not in it enough, Burge.
Main character, but it's fine.
I haven't spoken for a page, right?
And now you thoroughly blew me out the water as well, so I'm now going to be like, oh, Iolo's doing it. Oh, Nathaniel, what trouble shall you expose us to next? Papa tells me you should avoid our usual drinking sessions until such a time as the plague is abated.
Poor Henry. It must have proved difficult growing up in a household with such a bore of a patriarch. For as long as there is ale on this taps, then I shall seek to have ale in my belly.
And he'll winks at Henry.
Besides, Miriam might be present.
You great tease, Nathaniel. We both know she only has eyes for Isaac, and she's not really my type.
Nathaniel suddenly stops in his tracks, dropping his books, and a glazed look spreading over his face.
I mean, not that I have a type. Nathaniel?
Henry nudges Nathan, his mouth opens agape.
Natey?
Henry brushes Nathaniel's arm, looking concerned. He blushes.
Not that I have a type, obviously. I like all types. Anyone, really.
Oh, it's his bird now.
There we go. Nathaniel?
Nathaniel becomes alert again.
Twins, James. Twins.
It's never going to happen, you pervert. I told you it was a sting. You alerted them. Does she correct in the timeline?
Bollocks. You just don't want me to have any fun, James. Twat. What shithole am I in now?
Nathaniel, Adrian, extends his arms out and surveys his new body. Henry looks baffled.
We're still in Cambridge, and I'm Henry. Are you okay?
Yeah. Fine. Sorry. Lost my bearings. What were we doing again?
Against our better judgment, we were just on the way to the tavern.
Of course. Lead on then. Henry.
Henry reaches over to gather the drop books before carrying on towards the inn. Interior, dilapidated hospital day. James has found a suitable room and has blocked at the door with some chairs. Adrian is fully secured. James looks over Adrian for surveying his eye life from the relative comfort of the room. There's still a distant rumbling.
Okay, so looks like you're Nathaniel Lee, Cambridge, 1660s.
He anyone of note then? His mate is a bit of a prat.
Interior Tavern, Cambridge, 1660s night. They're standing by the door of the subdued tavern. There's a few patrons dotted around tables, enjoying a quiet drink. Nathaniel is looking around whilst Henry secures an elaborate plague mask to his face before passing the threshold.
Is who someone of note?
He continues to fasten his mask whilst Nathaniel makes a beeline for an empty table.
Doesn't matter. You get the drinks in. Take that mask off. You'll cramp our style.
Henry obeys, heading to the bar whilst Nathaniel takes a seat. He glances up to the ceiling.
Nathaniel Lee, British dramatist and playwright.
Never heard of him.
A few passes, including another man in elongated plea glass, look at Nathaniel as he appears to talk to himself. Interior, dilapidated hospital day. James is frantically swiping through his eye life, trying to piece together snippets of information.
Imagine my surprise, man of culture that you are. Doesn't matter. It's a strange one, though. You didn't really do anything of note until at least a decade later. You were just a student of the timestamp. If the timestamp is accurate, bit of a known drunkard. Should be easy for you then. Hold on. Did you tell him to take his mask off?
Yeah, looked like a right prat.
I wonder if...
He cycles through a couple more articles.
Yep. 1660s, bubonic plague, bloody rampant. Makes sense. The last great bubonic plague to blight Britain.
Cut to Interior Tavern, Cambridge, 1660s night.
Oh, great. Just what I need. From the Playboy Mansion straight into the plague. Brilliant.
A passing waitress scowls at him.
Do you mind startling our patrons? It's quite enough strife around here without gambling madmen talking to the walls.
Nathaniel scowls at her and looks away. She tucks and moves on.
Listen, you should be careful. There's no telling what havoc you'll wreak if you become a carrier. Your new friend might be onto something with his face apparel.
Nathaniel looks scornful.
Face apparel. Gimp mask, you mean? What good is that going to do?
I would have thought you'd be a bit more cautious with pandemics now, Adrian. What with that little incident in China, where you thought it'd be a good idea to interfere with those bats.
Oh, come on. It wasn't my fault. I was a victim of circumstance.
Regardless, just be extra careful, all right?
Aren't I always? So what, I'm here to stop the plague or something?
Possibly. The timelines look quite stable, though. Hang fire for a bit. I'll see what else I can find out. In the meantime, quiz your mate a bit. Try to get the local lowdown.
Henry returns to the table with a tray of drinks. He sits down next to Nathaniel and pops his mask off. Nathaniel reaches for a tankard of ale and swigs it before patting his lips.
Earthy.
He shrugs before drinking some more.
So, Henry, tell me about you.
You already know pretty much everything.
Pretend I don't. Pretend I'm a new friend.
But...
No buts, just hard Henry facts.
Right.
Henry considers for a moment, resting his hand on his chin.
Well, I'm Henry Young, physics student, art lover, and a son of Arthur Young, proprietor of Young and Partners Watermills.
Right, so you're pretty loaded.
Henry blushes, shifting in his seat.
Yes, well, we're comfortable. But you already know all this, Nathaniel. How many drinks did you imbibe before coming out this evening?
One or two. So, the art thing, are you any good?
Physics! Oh, sorry, that was you, sorry. I've done the same thing.
Physics!
I feel like that was just beautifully done, though. Perfectly timed.
Ask him about his studies.
Nathaniel clears his throat.
The physics thing, you any good?
Well, you know how it is.
He furrows his brow, a darkened look in his eyes. Nathaniel continues to down his drink.
As good as I may be, as good as any of us may be, we're all just in the shadow of Newton.
Newton?
Isaac Newton?
Isaac Newton.
Christ, stereo. Right, Isaac Newton, the apple fella.
Apples? He's a fellow at our university. Greatest mind of our generation, they say. It's hard to have your achievements noticed while he's around, showing us all up.
Yeah, well, we'll soon sort that out, mate. Get Henry the recognition he deserves.
You'd do that for me?
Of course. Get us a few more drinks in, and we'll start putting a plan together.
Henry usually heads off to the bar.
You better be kidding, Adrian. That is not what you're there for. Newton is the father of modern science. Without him, we might be centuries behind in our development. The guy developed calculus. He discovered gravity. Do not fuck this up.
All right. Jeez, call you a science boner. Didn't realise it was that important to you.
That important to us, to everyone, to society. He has to be the reason you've been sent there. This is a crucial period in his formulation of gravitational theory. My best guess is you're there to help him along.
If you say so. No reason I can't have a couple of drinks along the way, though, right? It's in keeping with my history, after all. You said he was a known drunkard. Got to keep it authentic.
Suppose so. There's something else you should know, though, about Henry. I've been scanning Nathaniel Lee's plays. It's looking a lot like Henry Young was something of an inspiration. There's strong ground to think they're more than just friends.
Nathaniel spits out the last of his drink in shock. Henry returns with a fresh tray of drinks. Nathaniel grabs one and downs it.
Thanks, hetero chum. What do next?
Hetero chum is quality. Is this me? No, it's not me.
No, sorry. Keep it authentic, Adrian. Your words.
Henry settles back into his chair and has a tentative sip of his ale.
Oh, I was thinking about you, what you said a moment ago, about getting me a little more recognition. What did you have in mind?
Yeah, that. I've got just the idea. We're going to plague him with apples.
Henry looks unsure. Nearby, a plague doctor is eyeing their table with interest.
We're going to give him the plague?
With apples? Trust me on this one. So this Newton, where does he live?
Oh, he's part of Trinity. His quarters aren't far at all.
Excellent.
Nathaniel clambers up, a little unsteady. He finishes his drink and heads towards the bar. He plonks his tonka down and rings a bell. A burly-looking barkeep steps up.
Aye? Listen, laddie, you best not be leading young Henry astray. He's a good boy, and I hate to have to alert his father. No more ale for you.
Well, if I put laddies, Luke would definitely do a Scottish accent.
Scottish, okay, I'm going again.
No, that's fine. That's good.
Okay.
Nathaniel opens his arms in protest.
You've got me all wrong. Already got a good buzz on. I've just come to see if you've got any apples back there.
Barkeeper grunts and looks below the bar.
I suppose we have. How many? Don't know where I'm going with that. I've lost my Scottish twang. Carry on.
I'll take them all. On Henry's tab, obviously.
They both look over to Henry, who waves in acknowledgement.
Very well, very well. But if I hear you've been using it for japery, I'll have your guts.
Come on, I can't even buy apples without the third degree.
You just have that effect on people.
Nathaniel picks up the basket of apples and head back to the table. They gather their stuff and head for the exit. The onlooking plague doctor follows them as they leave. Exterior, student quadrangle, Trinity College, 1660s night. A well-appointed quad overlooked by high-end student apartments. Nathaniel and Henry arrive on the scene with their basket of apples. There's no one else around as they get into position.
You sure this is the one?
Nathaniel pulls out an apple and readies his throwing arm.
Quite sure it's the largest, grandest apartment.
Henry reaches into the basket.
So we just throw them?
Nathaniel launches his apple at the window, blasts straight through the pane.
Yep.
Henry does the same. His apple conking off the frame of the window. A silhouette appears, another apple missing his head as he opens the window. The silhouette is a dressing gown form of Isaac Newton. He's furious.
Are you quite finished?
Nathaniel and Henry ignore him, continue to launch in apples.
Cease your incessant malice, pumilia projectiles at once. It's abhorrent enough that I'm enduring this wretched plague, and now I have to endure the prattling of infants.
Henry has eased off. Nathaniel is still hurling apples with glee.
Endure gravity, bitch.
What?
Thanks, Butch. Isaac drops another falling apple before returning to the frame. Suddenly, out of nowhere, the masked plague doctor from the tavern rugby tackles Nathaniel to the ground. Nathaniel loses grip on the basket, causing the apples to scatter. Henry pushes the doctor off Nathaniel and quickly helps him to his feet. They run off before the doctor can recover. The doctor eventually gets to his feet and calls up to the window.
Master Newton, I urge you to leave your quarters at once. We must instigate a quarantine.
What on earth for?
He scans the horizon for his tormentors, but they're out of sight.
Can't keep this fuss going. I have strong reason to believe that the apples are plague-ridden. These hoodlums were discussing their plans at the Bull's Head, a scheme most foul to impede your works.
It's beautiful. It's like so horrible history.
I was literally thinking that. It's gorgeous. Good job, Adam.
Isaac pulls a face.
Very well. Have it cleaned up and make haste and confine myself to my family farm until it's deemed safe to return.
Exterior alleyway, Cambridge, 1660s night. Nathaniel and Henry are catching their breath in the secluded alley.
Do you think it worked?
I think we gave Sir Isaac Newton the plague by launching apples through his window.
Yes.
Definitely.
Henry looks delighted.
I love you.
What?
What?
Keep it authentic, Adrian.
Oh boy.
Wait.
Throw that in there. Interior Allstroke Manor, Newton's study the next morning. Isaac is musing in his study, pacing the room whilst contemplating a chalkboard. He scratches some marks on the board whilst muttering to himself.
For a function f of a single independent variable x, we can express the deviate using...
A bird flutters by the window. Newton is distracted, glancing outside. In the distance, his apple tree is being felled by some workmen. Gives way and keels over with a loud crash.
Gravity.
He wipes his board clear and begins hastily scratching some fresh notation. Meanwhile, interior student quarters, Trinity College, the same morning. Nathaniel and Henry are lying abed. Nathaniel is smoking a pipe whilst Henry nuzzles up to him, sleeping. Outside in the courtyard, apple trees are being cut down by lumberjacks.
I think my work here is done.
Nathaniel's laughing easily.
Right, James? All sorted?
I mean, you've essentially wiped out apples with your fuckheadedness, but we should be able to fix that.
Nathaniel had a toke in his pipe.
It'll work out in the end. What about the important stuff?
You should be coming to a realization any second now. Then you'll be out of there. There is one other thing, though. The stuff on Henry. I was basically just speculating. Murky conjecture at best. You probably didn't need to do anything.
As an apple tree catches to the ground outside, Adrian is set free from the body of Nathaniel Lee.
You can't!
Read out. Interior, exterior, time vortex. Adrian is once again hurtling through time, one step closer to fixing their mistakes and ridding the world of kaiju amphibians. And no historical record restored-ish. But suddenly... Mess you up. There's no post-credits, I'm afraid.
That's fine. Excellent work, buddy. Excellent. Good job. That was ace. That was funny. That was really fun.
Yeah, really good.
I like the Hugh Hefner at the start, then sort of leading to the plague is like really funny. Just like he gets like a good one, and it's only like fleeting before he just gets shot to the worst. Whatever. Ace, mate. That was really good. Really enjoyed that.
Cheers, guys. Yeah, it's good. Well read as always.
Yeah.
Put it to life.
Hetero chum is a fucking stroke of genius. What's hetero chum? Bring out your dad as well as Ace. Luke played that to perfection.
Yeah, Luke did.
It's the cadence of it. It's like you would never hear that. Like, you know, like I would just go like, bring out your dad or whatever. But Luke went, bring out your dad.
Do you know what I was counting? I don't know if any of you have, Adam, you for sure, but did any of you ever have a rag and bone man when you were younger?
No.
No. Well, okay, we had a rag and bone man come round collecting like detritus and general shit from the area, and that's what he'd be rag and bone. So I was channeling
Any old iron.
Rag and bone men? Did you grow up?
Yeah, I know. Fuck, it's like the real life James and Adrian over here. Fucking hell. When we worked as chimney sweeps.
Yeah, ragabum is like you know what we are though, yeah.
We don't have those in Heatonmore. No.
Although, funnily enough, they do now. We have a guy who comes around the road now.
Huh.
Does he shout rag and bone?
No, he plays it from a tape deck on his transit. So he just plays out with like sound effects and stuff. When you had like calls at work and just people kind of start looking really confused because it's obviously being like heard in the background. True story.
Nice. Well written though, Phil.
Yeah.
Good job, buddy.
Yeah,
That
really.
was very, very
Yeah,
fun.
good.
Awesome
I really
fun.
enjoyed that.
Very fun read.
I'm curious about what the other ideas you had were.
Yeah.
Yeah, me too.
Well, I mentioned about the American Revolution one. My first thought, I got to jump back in history, was to do something with pirates, but there was no like specific historical event I could lean into. That's why I landed on Isaac Newton and the apple. It's just kind of something you can play around with, I guess. So
Yeah.
it's quite. But I don't know. Yeah, but have you guys got ideas lined up? I know we've
100%. I know exactly where we're going next.
Speaking of that, has that been agreed upon, or are we spinning? Has it been?
I don't know.
upon
It's up to you guys. I would love to put my best foot forward.
Yeah, I'm
because
happy to.
I have the time for it.
Happy to go for that.
Sounds good.
Go for it, buddy.
And yeah, I've sort of left it pretty much. I mean, the other thing is, I sort of wanted to spend more time in the hospital and trying to play around with what could be happening in their world, but kind of didn't. I don't know.
I think you said that put quite well that he's forced to move now. It's pretty sort of like interesting stuff. Really.
Yeah, they're sort of in this. I had a few ideas for where he could be trying to get to, but I thought I'd leave that for.
That's cool. I quite like that idea.
But...
I quite like that, like, because you had him like keeling over briefly. I like the idea that like kind of like Inception-y, where like his movements in the real world has some sort of effect on his body. But I do love that. I was really secretly hoping that the whole thing when like he takes it over would become like a regular thing, and I'm so grateful he did that, Phil. Now like every single body is just gonna be a
find some elongated syllables for birds.
I know.
Yeah, so grateful, so grateful.
That was excellent.
Twice in one episode. So,
Yeah. No, it was great. It's really, really fun.
Enjoy Gravity, bitch. Thank you for your reading, bitch.
Gravity, bitch. And then I love that it's amphibians, because I think that like opens the like all amphibians are like just like now massive and muscular. It's just really fun. Like you get to play around with like more of the amphibious animals as opposed to it just being frogs and tadpoles. It's just muscular amphibians. Just ace. I love it. Absolutely love it.
Just horrible.
I liked Henry as well. Actually, Ollie, you were perfect for what I had in mind for his.
Oh, thank you very much. I had no idea who I was playing. I was like,
no, he's nobody. He's nobody of note. He was just
just sort of
just
there
a
when
student chum.
Newton was there. That's good. That's ace that. It's really interesting because it's like the fundamental thing about writing, like going forward with writing it. I was really trying to sort of like estimate what like the process that you guys would have to go through after setting it up would be, and I was thinking to myself like, oh. Like they pick an era and like just do like a historical thing, but like there's another step to it that I didn't really consider, which is like you have to like think of what Adrian is doing, like what he's fixing. So like, you know, like in mine, he was getting Catherine Howard beheaded, but it's like there's loads of historical events and time, but it's really difficult to sort of like try and have Adrian do something in that time, you know what I mean? Because I was thinking to myself, oh, you could just do the Gettysburg Address, but what would he do in the Gettysburg Address? Would he just have to like relive the Gettysburg Address? There's nothing really inherently interesting in that.
Yeah,
it needs to be like a
trick, isn't it? It's kind of
it needs to be a historical event.
What's like the peril that could be not happen if he doesn't intervene, sort of thing. That's
but because it needs to have like it needs to be a historical event that has some like binary like thing going, like, you know, Catherine Howard could have had her head lopped off or could not have had her head lopped off. I really like the Newton Apple thing. I think that was ingenious because I was genuinely trying to think of like where you guys would go with it, and I like getting Newton hit by an apple is a really, really ingenious one. Good job.
Yeah, I guess that's just Adrian getting drunk and panicking into making sure he's aware of the apples, but possibly overplaying his hand somewhat. And so yeah, that was that.
Very
Cheers,
good,
guys.
Very good, mate.
Thanks
Enjoyed
to
it.
thanks to all performances excellent. Yeah, there's a lot of like guff for Adam to read, and obviously Adrian's always going to be prominent.
There was one line where I was describing the achievements about it was like just on the verge of discovering. There was like a science like calculus sort of. Oh yeah, it was mad. There was too much. I struggled.
You inhabited the character well.
Yeah, it didn't
sound
like
I've
a
heard,
struggle. It was good.
I've heard science bonus somewhere before. I'm sure that was in like one of Yellow's scripts or something.
Science bonus was good. I enjoyed it.
I'm sure it's a Yellow line somewhere. We did a search for all the previous episodes. I'm sure.
Sounds like your sense of humour, not highbrow at all. Just add boner to words. Noun boner. Yeah, that's your. No, that was ace. That was really, really good. I really enjoyed that, mate. Very well done. I'm really looking forward to everyone's.
Do you feel it's quite problematic to have Adrian kind of like accidentally manipulate this Henry guy who's just an innocent Cambridge student? I know he's.
We're going into history. It's going to get like on the verge of problematic no matter what, realistically. Especially we're going back to like British history. It's like, ooh. But no, it's. Oh, it was good. It was good. How would you guys? I really love. This is the thing. Is like the reads are always great, but like. I wrote Adrian and like James as just sort of like normal characters like that, and that the rest of the history would be like the lunacy and stuff. But you guys, James and Adrian, both of you read them so well that you guys have like imbued this character into both of them, and I just love it. I just love that like Adrian is like quintessentially like this rough around the edges sort of like just like bloke, and that James is like this smarmy bloke as well. It's just like
he's pretty laddish, isn't he? Whereas James is a bit more.
It's excellent.
But possibly been led astray by Adrian a bit too much in his life, so he's kind of got that edge to him as well. I guess.
It's really fun because I like that because I think you wrote like the interaction early on, which was like It was, no, Steve from the shops. No, yeah, Steve McQueen, you idiot. Like, those kind of, like, that dynamic is what I wanted from them. And I think, like, it's the strength of their reading those characters that has, like, meant that, like, they're just solid now. It's just really sort of, like, it reminds me a lot of Cyril. Cyril in the last one was the easiest person to write for because you could hear Cyril, you could hear Adam read Cyril in the back of your head. So you just, like, well, this is what Cyril would say in this moment because he's a fleshed out character because of Adam's read. Yeah. But no, you guys did excellent. I'm really grateful that Phil kept you guys as the main characters.
It's the first time anything I've ever done has been called laddish. So
yeah. the anti-Bird character.
So his little face perk up there when you said that.
I'll take it. A bloke's bloke, is it? Yeah. Like that.
I'll get my stuff.
But there's like the really good example is like Phil had a line in it, and it was just like Adrian's reaction to drinking beer was just earthy, and Burge read that absolutely perfect. Went, earthy? Yeah, and I was like, that is it.
Yeah,
like, perfect.
What would a 1660s beer taste like? Probably be a bit. A bit gritty.
It was great.
It was like it's carry on anyway.
It just shows, like, I do think that, like, we've like, you guys particularly, I think you guys are excellent. All of you are excellent, like, readers as well as writers. But, like, we've obviously all gained, like, writing skills through doing this entire sort of, like, but suddenly thing. But I do think we've also sort of gained this performance thing, because I did, when I was writing mine, go back to the earlier ones, and you compare the earlier sort of, like, voice reads to now. They're like they're a lot more like they're full of character, and they're a lot more like ebbs and flows. Like Luke was really good in this one. Like he just has like Luke will just dynamically pause in the middle of it. I tend to just like read it so I get my bit over with. But like Luke has this like pausing. I can't remember who he was reading, but he was like reading one of the characters really well, and obviously like he did the Scottish guy really well. But like there's a performance aspect to it that I think we've genuinely gotten better at, and it was great.
His Isaac Newton was great.
Yeah, I think that it was Isaac Newton, I believe. I think it was Isaac Newton when he stopped.
It's genuinely such a pleasure to riff off people. Like I think that's what I enjoy the most. I loved our back and forward, Iolo, whilst we had it as Henry and Nathaniel, whilst it was there as the posh people, and that's what I like. I really live for those scenes. It's really fun. It's really fun to riff off each other.
Yeah. We've got a history. We've got a history like the double acts, haven't we? Like Arduous and Skimp and stuff. Adam and Luke.
Yeah.
Having those sort of classic.
I was tempted to put Arduous in actually. It's because there's always that prospect that you can just sort of throw in because they've kind of been scattered on time as well. And obviously, Iolo's script had the three guys from the chateau thing, the three financiers who got killed. But there's scope for potentially putting in different characters.
I think a funny thing would have been, like, but I didn't want to put too much on you guys, but I did think I shouldn't kill them, but they should be like, we should see them like through them all, like in the background as to what they got up to when in their little jaunts through the eyes of these guys, and sort of connected them. But I was just like, it's so much more to add to your stuff.
When we make the live action, Iolo, we can include them in the background.
Okay, cool.
Like the smoking guy in the X-Files, just all
smoking guy in the back, yeah, but 100%. You can always have Arduous pop up. It doesn't stop. Not Debonair though. Let's not bring Debonair back. Debonair is he'll just.
My original idea, I was going to have like. It's going to have the first 2 pages just being like a Debonair script, and then it was only you people in character. You got the character saying, "Phil, fuck off." It's like, no, not again.
This is like it dawns on me that this entire I know I'm keeping everyone, but it dawns on me that we've relied a lot on time travel in this thing. It's been very time travel heavy, and I've not helped.
Can I just remind everyone that when I started the Chateau saga, there was no time travel involved.
No, that is true. Yeah, I think it was Phil as well. I was like, fuck, was that me? I was like, no, it was not me, definitely. You just can't help it.
Just a talking kangaroo, bitch.
Yeah, just right.
Not time travel, is
it? And a woman that was cracked open like a nut. and the ball that just went red ball, red
Different.
ball, red ball for no real reason whatsoever.
Red ball.
But they're different.
It's not
time travel.
time
No,
travel,
it's,
yeah.
They're their own thing.
It's not
Fresh
time travel.
ideas, fair enough. Yeah.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
I am enjoying this though. I'm not sure, guys, like what you guys think of like this entire but sudden leap saga. But I think it's fun.
I love it. Yeah,
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
this
it's really
is
good.
by far
it's great. Yeah.
the best thing. This is what I always wanted when we initially conceptualized the whole but suddenly thing. This was it. Everyone, we have a same initial vein that we all pass through, but the story is wide open for anyone to go wherever they want, however they want, and history is definitely a fantastic vehicle for that, rather than it just being like cyberpunk now, or this is. I really like the history take. It's really fun. There's so much you can do, and
Wouldn't
so
say
many
by
places you
far,
can go.
but
Yeah, I mean, other people have started equally good things, I would say.
I just say some of them are quite good. But
This is definitely in the top 3.
It's not my insinuation. I just like the. To be fair, the Shatter one I bowed out of. I found it too hard to track, and this way I don't have to do that. This way I don't have to track the. Remember the diagram that Yola made, the literal like web of character relationships. When he made that, literally, that was like me. Nope. I struggled to remember what I had for tea yesterday, let alone the intricacies of all of these detailed relationships. So this is much better.
Yeah, I think it's not really that original because I think it was fundamentally like what we discussed about doing with Adam's one before we kept on getting plagued by the first season's characters. So it's just kind of like a way to step back into that. No, it's not your fault, Phil. I think we were all sort of like wanting to do it like to a certain extent because I think we weren't quite we weren't quite ready to get rid of like the debonair and stuff. So I think we were both sort of like quite happy. All of us were just sort of like wanting to sort of like have that be finished.
it's just too fun to write for.
100%.
We sort of we crashed out at Yolo writing a full script where the debonair was the narrator.
Yeah. Jesus, I think I was like, okay, this is like too debonair. Okay, with debonair now.
Literally tied and gagged him at the end.
Yeah, Jesus. I think we sucked him dry, and I think debonair's fine to sort of like take a back seat for a very long while as we explore history. You should know.
Yeah, it's definitely good to freshen it up a bit.
Yeah.
No,
And that's
Cool.
Burgess' thing. I mean, yeah, good job with the Chateau Burge.
Yeah. Cheers,
Oh, yeah.
Phil.
Thank you very much.
cheers, guys. Thanks to be read. That's all.
I need to hear it. Anyway,
You did
Bye.
great. Bye, everyone.
Yeah, me
Goodbye.
too.
Yeah.
Bye.